is a glass door.
And what's your name and where were you born?
My name is Esther Galben now, but I used to be Esther Harari and mother's side. So he owned a lot of property in Egypt and he couldn't give him the okay to leave. Till he owned a factory that made coton, which is strong cotton.
Okay.
And they wanted back taxes from the time of Pharaoh, 2,500 years on it to give us the paper to be able to leave.
For your cotton factory?
In Egypt, yeah, because after the war, when all the Jews left, the economy dropped to its floor. And anybody who owned property or businesses, they didn't want them to leave. They wanted to keep them to move the economy of the country.
Which war with Egypt? The one with...
1956. So when Nasser came to power, and there was a big war over the Suez Canal. And the three countries that fought was French, Israel, and England, I said, or America. And they did not allow them, they gave them, the French, my aunt was married to a Frenchman who worked on the canal. He was an engineer, and they gave him 24 hours to leave with a bookcase. That's all they were allowed to take, each a bookcase, with no jewelry, and £100 each to leave Egypt in 48 hours. They took away his apartment and they put red tape on it so nobody go in. And that was the story.
Because they knew he was Jewish or something, or they just...
We could not leave. We could not leave because they wouldn't give us the paper. My grandmother, she was fed up with the situation, so she went and we did a lot of bakshish under the table to give us the paper.
Bribes.
So she went there. It was the time before computers, and she gave her maiden name, Esther Dishi. I'm named after my grandmother. So they looked for Dishi, and Dishi did not own any land. Dishi did not own any building. Dishi did not own a factory. So they gave her the visa to leave. So she said that I need my son to help me, and my granddaughter is with me. So they also give us the visa. So they gave us the visa to leave, and we left. It was a week before Passover. So we couldn't run away because then it becomes a problem. So she said, this year we're going to do the Seder in my uncle's house. So we went to my uncle's house for the Seder. So we all packed our suitcase to go to my uncle's house to spend Pesach there. And from there, the second night, we left and went to Paris on a plane. And that's how we got out of Egypt, by using the miracle of the Passover.
That's unbelievable.
And my grandfather was there because he had Parkinson, and they had let him out for medical reason. And he didn't like living in France because it wasn't religious. There was only 2 kosher butchers, and one of them, they saw horse meat in him, so they stopped buying from him. So there was only 1 kosher butcher in the whole of France. And he didn't believe his kashrut, so we used to buy fresh chicken once a week. And he would go to the shochet and do it in front of his eyes to take that chicken home for us to clean and to cook for Shabbos. So that was the story, that we were in France and we didn't want to stay there. So they offered him, he wrote over here to his cousin, our cousin and first cousin are the Sabato family, if you heard of them. Chaim Sabato, that wrote books. Okay, so this is my first cousin. And they said I shouldn't come in here till I, who was 12 years old at the time, come to Israel for my son's bar mitzvah. So he refused. They came in and they offered him to go to California. America was not open, New York was closed. So we couldn't come to New York, and he knew New York was Jewish and religious. So he wanted to come to New York. And they offered him California, and he said no. They offered them other places, and he said no. So because my grandfather was a patriarch, you understand? Where he goes, the whole family comes.
Patriot.
5 sons and 3 daughters. So one of his sons used to work for a big macha. The only mashpir of Egypt at the time was Succot, and he used to work in the money department there. And the guy already went out and was in New York, and sent him working paper to come to New York to work for him, even though he didn't know a word of English, because he trusted him. So he got into New York, and my grandfather 6 months later could come in as the father of, because his son works in New York. And because of my grandparents was past the age of making Aliyah, I was part of their family, so I was bringing down the age of my grandparents. I was less than 12 years old. They were over 50. I wouldn't allow them to come and migrate. You have to be young to immigrate. So, but because me and my uncle was able to bring down the ages, we were able to come to New York. And that's how we ended up in New York. So my grandfather was a Kohen, and I only wanted to marry a Kohen. So I met my husband, who is a Kohen, and we lived in, not in Brooklyn, unfortunately, but we lived next to his parents in the Bronx, in Riverdale. And we raised my family there. And I wanted to come to visit Israel, but I would not come to visit Israel for a week or two on vacation. I only wanted to come and live here a year, because in a year I will know how it is to live in Israel. So when I had my 7th child, we came in on a sabbatical for 1 year, and I didn't want to go home.
You came to the Galilee?
I wanted to stay I came in and we lived in Beit Vegan, and for that 1 year, and I didn't want to go back to America. I said, I want to stay here. But I had made a contract with my husband that it depends on him. And if not, that I would go back. So I gave him 5 years to make Aliyah, and if he doesn't, I'm coming without him, because I didn't want my children to go anywhere else but here. So they all back to America, and we made Aliyah in 5.5 years. And he took him wishy-washy about 2.5 years to make for sure Aliyah. But now all my children are in Israel, and all my grandchildren. I have 8 children and 36 grandchildren right now, and more to come, B'ezrat Hashem. I don't have enough. I hope to live to see them married, my grandchildren. All my children are married, and they're all married Jewish, and all have Jewish grandchildren. I could eat in each one houses. They're all kosher, and they're all Shomer Shabbat. And I won the lottery. Come and join me.
Say something of the Galilee. Why Galilee? Sea of Galilee. Why do you like Sea of Galilee to live?
Because here is where Miriam well is buried. The water that fed them in the desert for 40 years. When she died, what happened to that well? That well is the Kinneret. And who drinks the water of the Kinneret have a spiritual advantage to learn the Torah. Torah is water, and the water of the Galilee will give him the secret of the Torah. And God bless me, because everything I ever needed was already in my closet.
Praise God. Wow. Hey, well, thank you.